So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our annual State of Trailblazer Nation presentation. It's really just amazing to see everyone here. I know we have folks online as well. Before we get started, I do want to just recognize a few folks and thank. It's tough to do thank yous because you always miss everybody. It's always easy to say, and I thank everybody, right? But I do want to thank Sue Keener, my right-hand person. She's amazing, just behind the scenes, and thank you, Sue. Also want to thank John and Brian over there on the AV side that just make this thing work every time. So thank you, fellas, very much. All of our KD leads, our executive team members that really help facilitate and push this work forward. We have some really great stuff to share with you today, kind of demonstrating this sort of nudging of the needle forward on a lot of our work, a lot of our goals. It really takes every single person to make this stuff work. And it can be stressful and trying at times and even at times ambiguous, right? It's if we do this, is this really going to happen? If we don't do this, what's the result? So I just want to thank everybody on the team as well, every department. I don't care what role you play on this team, you are an important part of this work, and it would not happen without you. So thank you. Also, thank you to our community members, all of you who invest your confidence in us. And it means the world to me personally, and I know it means a tremendous amount to our team as well. I also, and I know I'm going to put them on the spot, but I want to recognize two of our board members, Donna Ware, and one of our newest board members, our student trustee, Jim Eck. Appreciate you both being here. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize a former board member, Brendan McCain. Appreciate you and all the service you've provided. So there's a saying I heard years and years and years ago, and I shared this at a recent meeting last week. It goes like this: the future is now, but it is just unevenly distributed. It's a statement that is often attributed to economics, but I think it's very pertinent to the world that we're in now when it comes to education, in terms of the form, the function, the philosophy that we approach our work through, the lens that we look at this work through, and how it really impacts, at the end of it all, the student. There's a sort of focus that, I kind of rode the wave on into Lewis and Clark that, I really wanted us to be the most agile and flexible community college that we could possibly be. And part of that is creating the most remarkable student experience that we can. And so often asking ourselves, and it's not, there shouldn't be a time that goes by that we don't say, hey, if we do this, how does it contribute to the student's experience even being more remarkable? And I know that gets tough at times because as any dynamic organization, which is what we are, there are nuances, there are tensions, there is drama, believe it or not, right? But all of that is also an important ingredient to being the type of institution that is okay taking on challenges, that is okay pressing against the stuff that's uncomfortable, and ultimately at the end of the day, coming out saying, hey, today was a better day than yesterday, and we allowed the students who are here to have an even better experience that they had yesterday. And that doesn't happen without a really great team, a team that's okay embracing the stuff that they don't like, at the same time embracing the stuff that they're excited about. And when it's all said and done, it's sort of embracing the whole institution as something that is really becoming more of an extension of who we are as leaders and as individuals on this campus. We all know that the shifting environment in education is happening. I would argue this has been happening for decades and decades. And one of the things that I've always loved about community colleges, and of course loved just as much about Lewis and Clark, is we do have this sort of characteristic of agility, this ability to pivot when we need to pivot in order to meet the need of that student or meet the sort of expectation of a workforce partner that might say, hey, we need X and Y, and oh, by the way, we need it next Tuesday at noon, and it's Thursday. Well, that's extremely stressful, there's opportunities embedded within our own culture and system that allows that to happen, oftentimes without too much need to do things in a radical way, meaning we have to sort of, pull so many things together that we don't know about. Ultimately, we're able to serve our community and, of course, our students in ways that, perhaps other institutions can't do in as quickly as a way. So this shifting attitude, too, about the relevance of education is always one that sort of, frustrates me a little bit, because I'm reading another book on the future of education, sort of what I do in my spare time, and there's a poll or a survey that was done with individuals, and 57% of respondents said that, education is not as relevant as it once was, and it's not that important to me. In my opinion, that just means that the work that we have in front of us is that much more important and that much more relevant. Us being able to move the needle on the goals that we're going to talk about today, being able to stay relevant in how do we create access points for students that are a little different than perhaps the school, 100 miles away or 50 miles away or on one of the coasts, right? I mean, what are we doing that is different? What are we doing that allows us to maintain a level of relevance and a level of commitment to the students? Because that's ultimately what we've become known for, is being able to pivot and to be able to respond in a way that matters. I'm really proud of some of the big highlights. I mean, you'll hear from our KDs, but an example of this ability to pivot is avionics. Our ability to develop a program in partnership with two amazing partners in our community, Gulfstream and Westar, being able to meet with them and understand what their needs are, and then actually put something together, being able to earn grants that allow that program to sort of come together. And of course, I'll save the good stuff for our KD2 folks here to talk more about that. The other thing is competency-based education. I think there's a running joke that there's going to be a shirt that says, the competency-based ed guy, right? Because all I do is talk about this. But in me, it's not so much about the concept of competency-based education. It's about the idea of what competency-based education represents in terms of its ability to provide an agile, flexible, and very meaningful experience for the student. I am one of those individuals that does think that, the end of how we know education is closer than we think. That puts more pressure on us as leaders. That puts more pressure on us as just team members to say, okay, how can I do this work differently? How can I do it better? And what does that mean in terms of that remarkable experience for our students? And so it's really, really important work. And you'll hear a little bit from KD2 as well around some of the movement we've had on competency-based ed this year, and some of the vision we have for the years to come in terms of continuing to create a more robust opportunity for our students there. Even though things are changing, I do feel that Lewis and Clark is at the front leading the way in a lot of things, whether it is competency-based ed at the Illinois state level. Just last week, we hosted a competency-based ed summit with a little over 100 participants. We're hoping to do that down the road. We had some great speakers, including Arthur Levine, who a few years ago was sitting right on this stage, literally right there with our faculty, sort of leaning into his message as kind of that first step of beginning this journey of changing the way in which we do education at Lewis and Clark. And so we hope to continue to be able to lead in that way. I'm really pleased at the way that we're performing as an institution, and I want to highlight a couple of things, around the finances, around enrollment, although I will leave most of that to KD1. But in spite the educational environment being, arguably a little bit turbulent, we've seen some things happening on our campus that are very meaningful, and I think only reflect the commitment that every single person in this room, whether you are a member of our team, you're a community member, former legislator, board member, former board member, somebody who just happened to be driving by and, felt there was something going on today, and here you are, welcome, right? We're doing some really, really remarkable things, and I couldn't be prouder of that. So I'll ask Brian to put up this first slide. That's really just kind of a couple of things, and you can see this in the handout that, kind of this document that we put together. Laura Inlow and her team, Tanjay, do a great job of putting that together. But a couple of things really quickly, starting with the finances. At one time, community colleges were pretty confident in saying, hey, yeah, we're funded. It's pretty simple. A third from the state, a third from the local taxpayer, and a third from our tuition and fees. Well, that has shifted literally on its head to where we're probably averaging 15 to 17% from the state. A big part of the support we get is from tuition and fees and our local taxpayer. I have a philosophy that, I think we need to be very, very strategic in how we invest our dollars. What we invest them in, but always remaining focused on why we're making those investments, which is our student. So I'm really happy to say that it's projected by 6/30/25, meaning the end of this fiscal year, we'll be at $61,378,082 in debt. This is down significantly over the last 5 years to where it was a little over $120 million in 2019-20. Our levy as well, so putting less pressure on our community who already invest tremendously in our campus and looking really at our levy. And so over the last 3 years, we've been able to lower that levy just a little over 11%. Now, by saying all this, it's not, I really don't like saying, well, we're the institution that we're just going to do all these things with as little as possible. Absolutely, we need support. Absolutely, we need to generate revenue. And you'll hear from some of our KD leads today on some of the grant work that they're doing to support their work. So it takes a little bit of that pressure off the operating budget. Our ability every year, the executive team and I know I drive them crazy and others because we start planning as soon as we get the board's approval of a budget, we already begin talking about next year's budget, sometimes 9-10 months before. Part of that is understanding where our priorities are. What positions do we need to invest in? What areas are we lacking in where we really need to focus on? What are those larger level things like healthcare that we need to invest in? We believe very, very much so of investing in our team and making sure that our team feels good about the wages they earn and that we are competitive. And I'll be the first to say we struggle there a little bit. So how do we continue to try to navigate through that environment, knowing that this sort of this equalization, right, of maybe what was once a third is now really, getting to be like a 45, maybe 10 from the state. And so really putting that burden on us to think differently about what we do and how we do it, but again, always remaining focused on why, because I think if we do that, it makes the work that much more meaningful and that much easier, I believe, in a lot of ways. A couple of other things that are really important. I mean, if anybody ever stops me at Schnucks when I'm buying apples and the first question is, how are things going at the college? How's enrollment? It's typically 9 times out of 10 the first thing that comes out of people's mouths. And I've been proud to say that, over the last 2.5 or so years, we've been able to sort of move that needle in a positive way. The credit students for spring of 25 was up a little over 7% over spring of 24. So when we met last year, we had the same sort of results. Our billable credit hours continue to move in a positive direction. And that's, it's one of those tricky things to say. That's really the bread and butter for the institution. So one could argue we could have fewer students who are taking more credit hours. That credit hour revenue ultimately allows us to do the things that we're trying to do, invest in the team, invest in infrastructure, invest in programs. So that's a really important part of our work. And I know you'll hear very soon from KD1 and some of the just really awesome things that they're continuing to push forward as it relates to enrollment. I'm also pretty proud of this, right? Because we've had to do some right sizing over the years, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. It's not a negative. We've tried to do that in a way that is inclusive, that is respectful, offering some ERIs, and then sort of looking at resetting some things on campus to allow us to continue to move forward and stay relevant and not feel sort of pressured to where, hey, we don't have the money for that or we don't have the ability to do this. I think KD3 will talk a little bit about our main complex, but that's a great example of having to fix the roofs before construction can start and having to work behind the scenes to accelerate that timeline. But we were able to do that by having a reserve that we built up over the last 5 or 6 years, pay for those roofs, and then essentially reimburse ourselves through what's called the Public Health and Safety Fund through the state. So there are some other sort of avenues to make things work without putting tremendous pressure on the operating budget. But even though we've had to do some of this right sizing and sort of shaking a little bit, we've still maintained a pretty awesome ratio of faculty to students. That's an 18-to-1 ratio, which is pretty amazing. You know, that allows our faculty to stay focused on really meeting the needs of those students, which can often be very dynamic. When we've all been students, and we know that, you know, students come to campus with backpacks, and those backpacks are sometimes filled with things that we want to help them work through, you know, so that when they leave us and move on to that next level, they are well prepared and they feel a sense of connection and belonging to our campus and always see us as a place they can come back to because they know a face, they know a name, and they feel that they had that remarkable experience that is so meaningful to them. So with that being said, I want to thank you all again for being here. I want to kick it off by just thanking the folks behind me who I know beyond the regular work are really working hard to move the strategic vision forward. About 3 or 4 years ago, we started this journey, and you know, we created our 4 key directions that really ground us every single day in the work that we do. And I think a good measure of that is, you know, our team, you know, knows what a KD is. And if you don't, you know now, right? A KD is a key direction. That is one of 4 directions that we continue to move forward as an institution around. So with that being said, thank you for being here. Your support means the world to me. I want to thank all the support behind the scenes. I'd be remiss, too, if I didn't even thank the foundation. I mean, the foundation at Lewis and Clark has been amazing. We've linked the college's strategic plan and with the strategic plan of the foundation. That alignment has helped us with additional resources and support systems to guide the work. I mean, again, it's just, it wouldn't happen without everybody in sync, focused on our students. So thank you. With that being said, I'm going to introduce Dr. Sharice Jackson, who will introduce her KD leads, and they'll walk us through some of the really good work happening on the KD side. So again, thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it over to Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Traska. Let me adjust this a little. And I saw her walk in and just walked out. We want to recognize our former student trustee, Melissa McCaig. So. Okay. All right, I know she has class. So. All right, so I am, again, Sharice Jackson, the Vice President of Student Affairs. I have the pleasure of supporting KD1. I don't want to say sponsor. I would like to say more a mentor, because these ladies have taken it on. They meet and they just really just bounce the ideas off of me, but they already have a handle on it. So before I introduce the leads, I want to also recognize our core team members for KD1. Yvette McLemore, Maya Lawrence, Daniel Nose, and Kate Kessler, I think, are here. So thank you guys. They meet with us on a bi-weekly basis, and we really just jump into the work to figure out how we can increase enrollment and retention for the campus. So before Crystal and Laura come up, I want to introduce a special guest. I had to put in a special call to have them come join us for this event. So Blazer, come on out. What's a Trailblazer Nation event without Blazer? So thank you, Blazer, for coming to hang out with us for the day. So Laura Enlow and Crystal Robinson are the leads for KD1. So I will turn it over to them to talk about enrollment and retention. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharice. You know, Dr. Traska mentioned that a lot of the work still has to be done. It's a work in progress, but we do have several accomplishments that we want to share with you today. Dr. Traska also mentioned billable credit hours. Our goal for 2025 was 56,100, and today we are sitting at 58,236, surpassing that goal. One thing I want to mention while we have Blazer with us is that another highlight for the year is that we've had more Blazer appearances this year than ever before. So we'll count today as one of those. My team and the enrollment team are currently working on streamlining some of our student communications. We're standardizing some of our quality recruitment materials, one of which you're going to see in the next month or so. We're calling them lookbooks. There'll be standardized high-quality admission guides, for lack of a better word, that people can approach us at marketing and PR for or enrollment for. And when you're doing recruitment for various high schools or other events, you can take these standardized books with you to help attract students. We are also currently working on the second iteration of our Discover Your Path videos, so I want to thank Mike Lemons and David Olenbittle on their work on that so far. I think they've already filmed several of our alumni across different programs, and you should be able to see some of those videos coming out shortly. Other targeted marketing efforts, in addition to some of the digital things that we told you about last year, include some specific recruitment events like the Industrial Careers Open House that we have at N.O. Nelson, and a new Discover Your Path Day that we had for Illinois high school diploma graduates, where we convinced them to take the next step after their diploma and come to Lewis and Clark as a college student. So that's only a couple of highlights from recruitment and enrollment, marketing and PR, but I'll hand it over to Crystal to talk a little bit about retention.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're excited to be here, and we're really excited to have Blazer with us today because he is an important part of the work that we do in brand recognition, so he definitely fits in with the direction of KD1. So as Laura said, we are really excited about the retention and the persistence work that we have done over this past school year. And so just so that you all know that we are starting we thought we were starting at about 58% last year, and that's what our goal was. And so we thought, hey, let's see if we can move the needle a little bit, and we were able to retain more students this year. So we now are at 59.7% of students that retain, and that's from fall 23 to fall 24. So that's a big deal for us, okay? So it may not sound like much, but every inch definitely it makes a difference. And so some of the other things that we're doing, we're going to tweak some of the advising models. We want to believe that we're giving students the best experience, but we're going to make sure that we're giving them the best experience. Another thing that we're doing, and I want all of you all to know about it because it is a big deal, on August 20th, that is during in-service week, we're having a Trailblazer Welcome Day, and it is going to be a scavenger hunt for students. And so we are going to have various faculty and staff participate. We would definitely like a full campus participation, and more information about that will be coming soon. We're definitely excited about the persistent subgroups that we formed last year. And what it has done for us is allowed us to work more closely with faculty. Because one of the things that I think that all of the KDs will say is the importance of marrying faculty and staff together to do the work of the campus. Because it isn't just the responsibility of the enrollment team or the advising team, it is everyone's responsibility. So with that said, I would like to thank everyone who participated on KD1 events to help us move the needle. And I would also like to say in front of everyone, the goal of KD1 is to increase retention and recruitment. But this is not a job that is just for us. It is a campus-wide initiative. So every person in this room right now, you're responsible. You're a part of this mission. So don't think that you're going to get off, because the work is for us all. So that is my charge to everybody in this room today, to understand and to re-envision retention and recruitment for LC, because it is a campus-wide responsibility, and that's what we want you to understand. So thank you so much, and please clap for Blazer. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm Sue Serwinski, and I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs and the sponsor, and that makes me an AA sponsor, for KD2. And first, I'd like to also thank all of our core team, both faculty and staff, that have made a lot of these things that you're going to hear from these guys come true. The three of us have not done it all on our own, and we appreciate everyone's help. But I would like to introduce my two team members here. I couldn't pick two better team members in the world. I have Tom Steinman, my Dean of STEM, and Randy Gallagher, my Dean of Liberal Arts, Business, and IT. I know it. I was that for a little while. So, without further ado, I want them to let you know about the accomplishments we've made on KD2.
Good afternoon. So Randy and I will kind of share the bullet points you'll see in front of you, and we'll talk about 4 or 5 each. So I'm going to start off with drone pilot training. Most of you already know that we offered this in a non-credit situation in the fall of '24. But the update on that is we now have a credit-bearing drone pilot training class, 3 credits that'll be offered for the first time in the fall, and we're excited about that. So, and we're not gonna do away with the vocational or non-credit part of that drone training, but we're gonna keep them both going. So that's exciting for us. Data science. We have a new data science class that was created by Brandon Huff that will start in the fall. We have an LPN program that has been developed led by Denise Caldwell. She has led that charge to create that, to bring that program back. And we hope to have that running as early as spring of '26, although it is still in the process of getting approved through ICCB. The avionics program, we've been talking about that for a long time. So again, I just want to give you some updates. The updates are awesome. We have finally, possibly, 2 part-time instructors that will start for us as early as the spring of '26 in the classroom. However, they're already going to start working for us in creating the curriculum and getting all the courses ready. They have a lot of valuable experience. We just joined the Aircraft Electronics Association, otherwise known as AEA, and they have a brand new certification for the type of student that we're going to graduate in our program. So we're totally excited about that. I do want to give a shout out to Paul Kiebrick, who is with us today. Paul has spearheaded this avionics charge that we've been working on. So thank you, Paul, for all you've done. We also, a lot of this has been, many of the things I'm talking about right now have been accomplished through the work of grants, and we've received over $300,000 in grant money in the past year and a half. So that has helped us with this avionics program, with drone pilot training, also with CDLB truck driving training that we started offering with one of the grants that we earned. And those are 4-week sessions, 20 hours a week, and you could get your CDLB license. That's on top of the the program that we already had, the truck driving program that we already had. This offers the opportunity for students to earn their license to drive box trucks, the smaller trucks out there. But so if anybody's interested, you got 4 weeks to spare, join on up. Program assessment. So part of our charge, of course, is to continually work with the Higher Learning Commission to stay accredited. So program assessment is part of that mission, and so we're going to try to, well, pretty much do have a system developed to look at our programs rather than on a 5-year basis, more on an annual basis to just, you know, monitor the health of our programs continually. And that's just one of the items listed there, but the bigger category there is overall HLC accreditation. And just one comment, one bragging point for the programs that Randy and I and Sue and everybody else that have been working on. We were mentioned in the St. Louis Business Journal recently. And that, well, I'm so proud of it. Now, it's not the entire journal. It's just the Workforce Development Guide. And it's not the entire guide. It's section A, but that's okay. And the picture you see on the screen there is also featured in that article. Our own David Olenbittle is in that picture. David, don't know, he's around here somewhere. I do know that Jan Dona also went through our drone pilot training class, so we have an Ethan Brush as well. So we have some LC graduates of that program. Randy?
So thank you. I just want to first sort of reiterate what Sue has said, that the work that's done here isn't really our work. We have the pleasure of supporting your work, and so it's your work that we get to highlight here. So I will start by mentioning competency-based education. We've made movement this year, or our version of that, PACE, Performance-Assessed Competency Education. It's my pleasure to say that we have now submitted our second program to the Higher Learning Commission in Child Development, thanks to the work of Dr. John Phillips in collaboration with some consultants. That's been submitted, and hopefully that will be approved soon. We've also, with the help of consultants and with your help, we have now developed a bundle of general education courses that students will be able to take using competency-based education approach. Those courses are Psych 131, General Psychology, Biology 145, Natural Resources and Environmental Science, Physical Science 141, Intro to Astronomy, Math 145, General Education Statistics, and CRMJ 131, Intro to American Criminal Justice. So that is the new version. We also still have a lot of other existing CBE courses. Included in those are Accounting 237, which is payroll accounting, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more later on. English 131 and 132, which is first year English 1 and 2. Math 122, which is technology integrated math. And Math 129, which is business mathematics. So all of those courses now have versions, or have competency-based education or PACE options available. And if I missed any, I apologize to those. And actually, just today, there's a proposal for a new one that will be coming soon as well. Again, not my work, but your work. Some areas, or some programs and courses that have been developed under my area. First and foremost, Human Services Program, under the work of Dr. Chad Keller, along with the help of the psychology faculty, Kathy Jones and Sarah Rankin. That program is coming online and will be starting in the fall. And so that is, again, a tremendous amount of work that was put in by Dr. Keller and the psychology department, and looking forward to just the growth that program is going to see in the coming years. Other areas, sport management, under the development of Nick Hand. He's developed 3 courses that are approved and ready to go. Those courses are sport management, sport marketing, and sport law. And those 3 courses, well, the next stage is to put together a certificate with those courses, along with some other marketing courses and other courses as well. And those courses, or at least one of those courses, is going to be starting to be offered in the fall as well. Payroll accounting is a new course, Accounting 237, that was developed by Christina Wickenhauser, and that's going to be starting this summer, and also then will be offered in the fall, and that's going to be offered in a CBE format or a PACE format. The nice thing about that is that one single course will prepare students to sit for the American Payroll Association certification exam. So a student can complete that one course, and then, assuming they pass that exam, would be eligible for immediate employment. And then last but not least, Christina has been busy. She also developed a data analytics and accounting course, which sort of pairs with the data course that Tom was mentioning before. Again, it's been a pleasure to be able to work with you and support your work as you've developed these programs and courses.
Very nice.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lori Artis. I am the KD3 sponsor, mentor, I liked that word, and also serve as Vice President of Administration here at Lewis & Clark. I'm joined today by 2 of our team leads, Debbie Edelman, who's our Director of Development, and Debbie Witzkin, who is an amazing faculty member in our OTA program and the LCFA president. Not with us today are Cody Zipman and Val Harris. They also help form our core group. So KD3 is really focused on strengthening our internal and external engagement. And we've made significant strides, as Debbie and Debbie will share with you here shortly, and have been showing steady growth in both internal culture and external engagement. So each year, starting in 2022, we have, as part of KD3, created and implemented a culture survey. So in 2022, that is our benchmark. That's what we're kind of measuring ourselves against and setting our goals based on. And this year, I really just want to highlight, we selected 8 different measurements from that survey that we're using to kind of gauge how effective we're being in our programming and our initiatives aimed at increasing this engagement. So I'm happy to report that in the category belonging at Lewis & Clark, 83.1% of respondents this year say they feel they belong, which is a steady increase since 2022. Feeling respected by supervisors is up to 85.7% from 76% in 2022, our benchmark year. Feeling respected by coworkers, we're now at 87.3% compared to 80% in 2022. Departmental culture has increased to 83.8%. Overall campus culture has held steady with 75.4% this year. Open communication, 77.9% of our team members feel comfortable sharing ideas, which is a jump from 69% who reported that in 2022. Faculty and staff collaboration in departments returned to 79.8% after a slight dip last year, and campus-wide faculty staff collaboration improved to 72.8%. So we were up in every single category this year, and I also want to point out that we have even more team members who are engaging by taking part in this survey. So I think those are all great key indicators that the work that our KD3 leaders are doing has been effective. I know Ken mentioned this handout, which is, by the way, I just want to point out, it should be up. Sue, I'm looking at you. They're up in the back, so please make sure you grab one of these. It outlines all of the measurements for each KD, and I think there's also cookies up there after the program. So I just wanted to point that out. Debbie?
Thanks, Lori.
Well, we think that a large part of our success that's shown by the culture survey is because Lewis and Clark is winning, and everybody wants to be on a winning team. And when you are on a winning team, we all feel better about it, right, Dr. T? Thanks for your leadership. We appreciate it. Part of that success, it stems from communication. You know, what we've learned is that our employees want to know as much as they possibly can. And Dr. T does a great job with his emails and other ways of sharing information and keeping us all informed on where Lewis and Clark stands in any given type of situation. Our PR and marketing department has done a great job with television screens that we have been placing all around our campuses, not just Godfrey, but elsewhere too. And these campuses have just a series of slides and images and all kinds of information that is being shared with our students, as well as our team members and community members who visit the campus. And we think that we're seeing that have a big effect on people's appreciation for being part of the Lewis and Clark community. KD3 continued to build community through its KD Cup events. So, show of hands, you know, who played dodgeball, kickball? No one? Come on, you guys. I know you were there. I saw you. And the three teams are faculty and staff and students. So really fun to see all of these groups come together through, you know, we can call it athletics, right? I mean, we're amateurs, but yeah, it was, those were great times, and we'll learn a little bit more about the result of the KD Cup event. You can see the KD Cup sitting right over there a little bit later. Team member events have grown in popularity. Everyone likes a party, right? So we love getting together, especially since so many of us don't get to see each other on the daily. So big shout out to HR and for all the hard work that you have all put into bringing us all together physically so that we can really feel that team that we are all part of. And there have been some external activities as well, like Jared BlazerCon, great job. I don't know where he is, I can't see him, but yeah, there he is. Good job on that, Jared, wonderful. I can't remember how many hundreds of people came, but oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the images of BlazerCon yet, seek them out. They will just bring you so much joy, and you'll want to participate again or for the first time next year. In addition to BlazerCon, our Alumni Association is really growing. So another show of hands, are you an alum? Raise your hands. Keep your hand up if you're an alum and a team member. I mean, almost everybody in this room. Zoomers, I can't see you, I'm sorry, but I know you're out there too. That is wonderful when our very own students decide to come back and give back by becoming a team member. So we thank them for that. Our Alumni Association has increased about 14% over last year, so go us. And through long-term engagement, you heard Dr. Traska acknowledge the Lewis and Clark Community College Foundation, which is the fundraising arm of on campus, and we have some big plans, the foundation does, to support the college and to further that agility that you heard Dr. Traska talking about earlier. And we're looking into, KD3 and the foundation have partnered to look into a study, to conduct a study on Lewis and Clark's readiness for a capital campaign. So be prepared to hear more about that via a pledge card in your mailbox. So with that said, I will turn it over to Debbie Witskin. Thanks.
Okay, hello everyone. So another key initiative for KD3 this year, which was new, was our Trailblazer token recognition program, which took off really well. And that's celebrating our team members who have demonstrated a core value of Lewis and Clark. And we have 6 core values here: student focused, integrity, responsibility, valuing people, diversity and inclusion, and then building community partnerships are our 6 core values. And since fall, 322 core values have been demonstrated by our team members, and those have been awarded to 162 different team members. So we just want to congratulate all of you for just, again, representing what Lewis and Clark is all about. So any of our team members who have earned a token this past year, we want you to come forward and receive your gold coin, which is a commemorative coin that we'll have every year for for team members who have, again, represented what LC is all about. So if you have earned one of the tokens with the core values this year, come on up to the stage because we want you to come by and get one of our gold tokens. And I also, come on up, want to give a special shout out to two of our team members. So Diane McDonough and Sylvia Russell. You guys can put your arms up high. Yes. These two ladies have represented all 6 of our core values. So that is just such a great accomplishment. It just shows that in everything they're doing, they're representing Lewis and Clark. So let's give all these team members a round of applause as they head up to get their gold tokens. And you can see all the names on the screen as well. Yeah. Oh. Here. Go get your token.
Oh, I'm on there, but I'll get mine.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you. Good job. Should have been bumping everybody's head.
Woohoo.
By the way, thank you. I just got to mention all the things. Great. Kate, nice job. Congratulations. Great job. It's like graduation for you.
Right?
Great job. Great job.
Yay.
Good job.
I would do one push-up.
Good job. Good job.
Aw. Yay. Aw. Aw.
I'm like bumping and shaking. Long way. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Debbie.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Great job. Yeah. Great job. Great. Good job. Maya, great job. Great job.
It's real gold.
Yeah, it is. It's worth like $9,000, so don't lose it.
So together, these initiatives from KD3 are creating a more connected, recognized, and engaged Lewis and Clark community, which can be evidenced by the increasing number of team members who are taking part in our annual culture survey, alongside increasing indicators of increased culture and engagement at Lewis and Clark. So moving forward, KD3 invites all of you. I know many of you participate in our activities. We're kind of the fun group, so we are appreciative for all of you. We hope you'll continue to, do the work to make this place the best place it can be. And we're working towards also expanding our external engagement and hope to soon launch a community advisory council model, which will invite members of our community to also keep the college informed about issues and concerns within the community. So thank you again for all your support of KD3, and congratulations to everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know how to follow handing out gold coins, but So my name is Ron Wall, and I am the Chief Data and Technology Officer here at the college. And I'm the sponsor and lead for KD for investing in data and technology transformation. Given that we're new to the table here, KD4's structure is a little bit different, and I am the lead and the sponsor. However, I did not do all the work alone. I have an amazing team behind me, and I want to introduce them. And of course, in IT fashion, they're in the back row. So there's Brian Jousel, Sean Koppel, Mary Jo Flaherty, and to my left here, Chris McLaughlin. A big thank you to all of you. So when preparing for an event like this, I often feel anxious reflecting on the past and thinking, what did we achieve and is it enough? I find it's very easy to forget about everything that has been done and focus on what is unfinished. Thankfully though, once I calmed down a little bit and started thinking about it, we've accomplished a lot. So I want to share some data from IT. Over the last year, we've installed 559 new computers. We've had 5,765 help desk tickets entered. We've also answered 19,386 help desk calls. We've all, thank you. We also maintain 1,713 applications that are installed on computers around campus. Last year, KD4 implemented a project management solution to track IT projects. And at that time, if I recall, we had around 125, and we were feeling very overwhelmed at the moment. We completed 94 of them. Now we're down to 148 open projects. So a few additional achievements I'd like to highlight. So despite massive scope creep and adapting our goals over the year, we were still able to complete most of them, and the ones that we did not were very close on. With the help of an IT consultation, we identified areas where we need additional support and skills, and we've created 3 IT positions. Hiring for those has been extremely challenging. I see all of HRs here, and I know I've been bugging the heck out of them, trying to think of ways to attract talent. If anyone knows of a data analyst that would like to work with Lewis and Clark, please have them apply. Multiple dashboards have been published, and additional metrics have been added to those existing dashboards. The dashboards are public. You can view them on our website. And those dashboards are to assist with strategic decisions for all of campus. A new dashboard linking student FTE to revenue and expenditures is ready to go live. I really hope to have it posted before today's event, but then life happened. Next is our self-service migration. Self-service is replacing BlazerNet, which is, in technology terms, is a very old product. It's past end of life. We're trying to replace that. We've been working on it for well over a year. We just moved time entry last week, which means that most of the heavy lifts are completed, and we've got a few small things to finish up on, so we hope to finish that over the next year. And now for a moment, I'm going to hand it over to Chris, and he's going to talk about some of the work we're doing on risk assessment and some of our IT policies and standard operating procedures.
Thanks, Ron. So, as Ron stated, my name is Chris. I'll be discussing some of the information regarding KD4's goal of improving IT governance. Back in February, earlier this year, our team conducted a risk assessment to evaluate the cybersecurity posture of the college and to start implementing some of those changes based on the results of it. So, in the risk assessment, we presented and documented several scenarios that potentially could be risks to the college. After reviewing our current safeguards against those scenarios, we identified 29 new controls that have since been added to our project list and to control and reduce those risks. In addition to the risk assessment, our team has been working to implement the new policies and to govern the IT department. Some of those include like change management. That would be to document and request any major changes to the infrastructure. An encryption policy that it will be used to expand encryption to more devices than we currently do. the computer maintenance policy to enforce systems, basically to receive preventative maintenance on a regular basis to extend the system's life. As well, there's many other policies that we currently have working on in the background that we'll share at a further time. So IT governance goals our IT governance goals are meant to increase cybersecurity, reduce discrepancies between work completed, and to document processes for our future. After talking just a whole bunch about documentation, I'll give it back to Ron to present one more accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. All right. So the highlight that I'm the most proud of and excited is we have finally completed a IT strategic plan for fiscal year 2026. So this plan is going to help guide IT for the next fiscal year and also help guide KD4's future goals. We will release it publicly soon. The content is done, but Laura and her department is making it pretty because right now it's just a wall of text. So once that's complete, we will send that out. And that is all I have. Thank you very much. And I'm going to introduce Jeff Alsman to present the KD Cup. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Alsman, Campus Events Coordinator, here to represent the A to Z Across LC podcast and also to present the KD Cup for this year. Just real quickly about the podcast, it serves as, or it's meant to serve as another support measure for all of the key directives. We specifically and intentionally focus our segments on building community relationships by promoting community events and strengthening those relationships with members of the community as well as athletics, the Lewis and Clark programs. We have a student section or a student segment where they come in representing either athletics or clubs and organizations, so we make sure we always involve the students. And this year we also started another segment where we have invited in alumni to come and participate as well. Big thanks to Mike Lemons and David Olenbittle from the Digital Streaming and Broadcast Media Department for all the help that they do with that. And we have a trend because my co-host Cody Zipman, like last year, is not available to be here. He sends his greetings and regrets. At the same time, there's two ways to look at it. While we don't have Cody, the reason we don't have Cody is because our athletic teams are participating in the postseason. So there's an upside as well. Last year was the tennis team. This year it's the softball team. They're not the only teams. Men's and women's soccer comes to mind as well as having great seasons this year. So lots of great things happening in our athletics department. And of course, Cody is also the school's athletic director. So if Cody were here as we would present the KD Cup, he would be grabbing the microphone and running probably out there amongst all of you with his high-strung energy that only he possesses and which I certainly do not. So you're not going to see anything like that. And because of that, what I need all of you to do, and all of you watching at home or wherever you might be, is to put your hands together to create some collaborative excitement. We need a drum roll to present our KD Cup. So let's practice real quick. You get it started, and then you got to go faster, faster, faster. Oh, come on, you can do it better than that. This is a big deal. And the winners of the 2025 KD Cup, the Lewis and Clark staff. Thank you so much for helping. That's as much energy as I've got. You are welcome to come up if you're a staff member and get photos. In fact, we would encourage a group photo around the KD Cup, but please wait until the event is over. Thank you so much. Looking forward to another great KD Cup next year.
So just as a reminder, essentially it'll be immediately following this. We'll host what we hope is an inaugural AI summit, and we have some really great speakers, including one of our very own, Jen Fuller, on the panel. So if you can hang out for that, that'll probably go about an hour as well. I want to thank the KD leads again, and the KD teams and everybody on the team for the work that you're doing, for participating in this important journey that we're all on, which is serving our students and continuing to make progress. You know, there's a comment I've recycled a few times with the team that we cannot let perfection get in the way of progress. And I think you've seen today this demonstration of remarkable work done not only by our team, but by everyone extended as part of this family that we call the Trailblazers. So thank you all so very much. With that being said, it's my honor and privilege to do our annual Pantone 286 award presentation. Once this concludes, we'll take some pictures, take a little break, grab a cookie, grab a handout, and then if you'd like to join the AI Summit, that'll start right around 2:15. So every year at the State of Trailblazer Nation, we recognize a team member who truly emphasizes the Trailblazer spirit with the Pantone 286 Award. Named for the official designation for Trailblazer Blue is the Pantone color matching system for printers and graphic designers. That's the nerdy part of it, right? This is the pinnacle award for team members, essentially recognizing our team member of the year. Many of our team members here at Lewis and Clark don't just bleed blue, they bleed Pantone 286 blue. They go above and beyond what this institution is about every day in service to our students and also in serving and supporting one another in this sometimes difficult work. This year, I am honored to present the Pantone 286 Award for an individual who gives countless hours of their time to this campus and all of our community college district communities. This person works around the clock to drive key direction one, recruiting students to campus and doing it with enthusiasm and excitement that is contagious for the rest of the LC team. At times, their enthusiasm runs so deep that you might find this person walking in the community parade on a holiday weekend wearing the full weight of the Blazer mascot uniform in the summer heat. Please join me, everyone, in congratulating this year's Pantone 286 Award recipient, Daniel Norsay. Congratulations, Daniel. While Daniel makes his way to the stage, I just want to share with you some highlights that make Daniel a true blue Trailblazer. He's already made it to the stage, so I'm obviously off script. He's really fast, see? Daniel currently serves as our LC recruiter, visiting high schools in the Lewis and Clark Community College District, attending career fairs, community events, state fairs, and numerous other community engagement opportunities, which mainly take place after hours and on the weekends, and we truly appreciate that commitment, Daniel. Daniel greets students on campus with enthusiasm and excitement and shares his passion for Lewis and Clark with prospective students as well as members of our general public. Some of Daniel's achievements include the creation of the Student Ambassador Program, as well as the hugely popular Summerfest event coming up on June 4th this year in the Riverbend Arena. His leadership and support was also instrumental in the success of the college's first ever BlazerCon, a new community engagement event, which also was mentioned a little bit earlier today. In addition to his enthusiasm in recruitment of students throughout the district, he also serves as an advisor to the largest student club on campus, you know, the video game club, which I've actually attended, and it is quite a large group of really cool youngsters doing stuff that I do not do, but it was pretty cool. When he's not out in the district hyping up the college to potential students, Daniel can also be found on campus engaging with students during campus events, often creating a spark of fun on our campus with our students, also through his DJ talents or at any home sporting event, playing music and announcing the game. He has always taken the lead around students' cheering section, affectionately known as the Dog Pound. This spring, Daniel is invited He invited the entire campus to his wedding reception, which to no one's surprise was hosted here on campus. Daniel, the question that we all have is, do you ever leave campus? It's just quite remarkable. Daniel puts in countless hours, as we've mentioned, not only to help us grow our enrollment at LC, but he is purposefully engaged in sharing ideas and initiating new endeavors that continue to add to the excitement and the value of the student experience at LC. He's truly one of our team members that goes well beyond what's expected, truly looking to make that student experience remarkable. So we thank you, Daniel, for your commitment. With that being said, you can hang out up here. You can, don't drop that because it's fragile, but I'll make a couple of closing comments, and then you all can take a quick break, and you're welcome to come back. We're going to do a bit shuffling on the stage. A couple of things, again, thank you, but a few exciting things, and the board will get an update on this at next week's board meeting, but we're really excited to say that the timeline on our main complex has moved forward, and we plan for a sort of final substantial construction to be done in the fall of 27. This is a really great bit of news. Start hopefully moving folks in spring, summer, and obviously opens up in the fall of 28. Seems like a long ways away, but soon enough, bids are going out. You'll be hearing the good noise on campus, which is the renovation of our main complex. We've had a chance to have a peek at what it's looking like inside, and it's just absolutely amazing. We're going to do an all-team meeting that will share some of those photos with everyone. I kind of did a little teaser online, and I got all sorts of, show us more pictures. I'm like, they're coming. But just really excited with the progress we've made on that. A lot of work behind the scenes from executive team, board members, to help sort of move that timeline forward. As you all might recall, that was sort of stretching out quite a long time. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. We look forward to seeing you next year. And again, keep doing remarkable things in your own way and remembering why we do it, and that's our students. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Hang out a little longer if you'd like. Thank you.